The sun was just beginning to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows across the asphalt of Fort Benning. At the main gate, a young private, barely out of basic training, stood his post with a mixture of boredom and an inflated sense of importance. He'd seen it all, or so he thought. Cars rolled up, IDs were checked, salutes were exchanged. It was a rhythm, a predictable dance of military life. Then her car pulled up. It was a beat-up civilian sedan, nothing special, and behind the wheel was a woman who looked, to his untrained eye, like she didn't quite belong. She was small, with her hair pulled back in a messy bun, and she wore a loose-fitting PT uniform that seemed to swallow her frame. He straightened up, a smirk playing on his lips. Another newcomer, probably fresh from reception, lost and confused. He swaggered over to her window. "ID," he barked, not even bothering to make eye contact, instead focusing on a speck of dust on his perfectly shined boot. She handed it over without a word. He glanced at it. "Second lieutenant," it read. He huffed. A brand-new officer, probably straight out of West Point, thought she owned the place already. He handed the ID back, his movements deliberately slow and dismissive. "Welcome to Benning, ma'am," he said, the word ma'am laced with just enough condescension that he knew he could get away with it. He didn't salute. He just waved her through, a lazy flick of his wrist. The lieutenant just nodded, a flicker of something unreadable in her eyes, and started to drive through the gate. But as her car passed under the bright, unforgiving glare of the overhead security lights, something caught the private's eye. It was a glint of black and gold on her left shoulder. He squinted, his brain struggling to process what he was seeing. As the light hit her sleeve just right, the letters became clear, stark against the fabric of her uniform. RANGER. The Ranger tab. A jolt, like an electric shock, shot through the private. His blood ran cold. The smirk on his face vanished, replaced by a mask of pure, unadulterated panic. That small, unassuming woman wasn't just some lost newbie. She was a ranger. She had been through one of the most grueling and respected combat leadership courses in the entire U.S. military. A course that chewed up and spit out soldiers twice his size. She was, in every sense of the word, an elite warrior. He had just disrespected a combat-proven officer. He had failed to render the proper military courtesy. His career, short as it was, flashed before his eyes. His heart hammered against his ribs. He snapped to attention so fast he nearly gave himself whiplash. His hand flew to his brow in the sharpest, most desperate salute of his life. It was a salute born of sheer terror and newfound, profound respect. He held it, ramrod straight, his eyes locked on the taillights of her disappearing sedan. The lieutenant's car paused for a brief moment. She didn't look back. She didn't need to. The message had been sent and received. The private stayed frozen in his salute until her car was completely out of sight. The glowing Ranger tab burned into his memory. That night, under the harsh lights of the gate, he learned a lesson that no training manual could ever teach him. True strength isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's quiet, unassuming, and wears a small black and gold tab. And it always, always deserves respect. Thanks so much for watching. It's a great reminder that heroes come in all shapes and sizes. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. We'll see you in the next one.